Just got the member of the media trying to bring my mobile, so start. I'm guessing we get front row. We've got things underway. Just waiting on. We won't be lame, everyone. Thank you to our member of the public for coming along. Thanks, Mr. Well, welcome everyone to the Ordinary Council meeting for October. Appreciate everyone and the members of the public for coming. The acknowledgement of country will be read by Councillor Bowditch.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Muswellbrook Shire Council meeting here today on the lands of the Wanneroo people, the land of the mountains, rivers and plains. And I'd like to pay our respects to the traditional custodians of our land, past, present and emerging leaders.
Thank you, Councillor Bowditch. The Civic Prayer, Councillor Dunn.
Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, we give you thanks for the blessings you bestow upon us in this Shire. Grant to those who hold office in this council the spirit of justice and truth, of wisdom and charity, that mindful of our responsibility and of the needs of those we serve, we may promote the true welfare of your people, exercise wisely and faithfully the authority committed to us, and advance the common good through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Dunn. Please all be seated. First item of business is the apologies and application for leave of absence or attendance by audio visual link. We have one councillor that has an apology as he's on leave, and that's Councillor Scholes. Do I have someone to move that way? Councillor Mahajan and Councillor Barry. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That unanimous hands are carried. Thank you. Confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting on the 27th of September 2022. Do I have someone to move that way? Councillor Douglas. Seconder. Councillor Leckie. All those in favour, please raise your hand. The motion carried. Disclosures of any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests. We'll start from my left, if we move around the room.
Yeah, I've got a quick non-pecuniary significant non-pecuniary interest in 9.1.1, the ATO 2002/342, section 4.
Yeah, sorry, the reason, sorry.
Whilst I have no relationship with the applicant, I am former employee, and after recent legal training by council staff, I feel that I should declare this former relationship and take no part in voting.
Thank you, Councillor Marshall. Councillor Neil.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just in relation to 9.2.2 Wildbone Road rectification, temporary full road closure proposal, I'd like to declare an insignificant non-pecuniary interest as an infrequent user of the road.
Councillor Neil. Councillor Woodruff.
Yes, same thing, Mr. Mayor. 9.2.2, my employer undertakes work.
Councillor Woodruff. Councillor Drayton.
I have an insignificant non-pecuniary in item 9.1. 9.1, the GA 2002/342. The applicant is known to me. I've had employment dealings with that person.
Yeah, I have a pecuniary interest in 9.2.2, the Wybong Road rectification. Mac Energy donate to the Lands Council where I'm employed. Then also 9.3.1, the annual food and toy appeal fee waiver. I volunteer and run the appeal.
Thank you, Councillor Douglas. Councillor Gage, nothing? Councillor Barry.
9.2.4, the Drought and Emergency Response Management Plan. I have an insignificant non-pecuniary interest due to my employer providing water to Jerry's Plains, as mentioned in the business paper on page 293.
I'll declare 9.3.3 insignificant interest there, because I've undertaken voluntary commentary at various different sports locations, including that one. Okay, any others before we go? No? Okay, moving along. We have public participation. We have one public participation in relation to item 9.1.1, being Royal Vision, and that was to be via seniors.
Just in attendance, Mr Mayor.
Sorry?
Just in attendance, Mr Mayor.
In attendance? No public, okay, okay. No public participation, my apologies. Business arising from the previous minutes? No. I had previous business specific reports, 9.1 planning environment, 9.1.1. Just get someone to check it. Okay, we have before us 9.1.1 DA 2002-342 section 4.55 modification to quarry and concrete batching facility to include a 30,000 tonne per annum construction and demolition waste recycling facility. There's the council recommendation there. Grant one, council grants consent to the section 4.552 modification of DA 2002-342 involving the addition of a 30,000 tonne per annum construction and demolition waste recycling facility to an improved quarry and concrete batching plant at lot 30 DP 815308 8440 New England Highway, Muswellbrook, subject to the conditions recommended in attachment A, and 2, directs the general manager to review the non-compliances identified in relation to the current quarry operations and undertake further compliance action as appropriate, with an emphasis on addressing compliance matters related to the access road improvements and use. Do we have any? Yes, Councillor McNeil.
Mr Mayor, I'd like to leave the recommendation with an amendment.
We have someone, what the amendment, sorry?
The amendment will be after the words, the last words, improvement and use, remove the full stop and insert a comma and add the words if unresolved after a period of 6 months.
Wait a second then.
And then a second here.
Okay, we have that motion put forward. Do we have someone to second that motion? Councillor Dunn? Anyone to speak in favour? Do you wish to speak for it, Councillor McNeil?
Not other than to say it gives a reasonable period for the applicant to resolve the outstanding issues, and then gives the general manager direction on the.
Okay, do we have anyone to speak against?
Can I just have a question for a moment? So that'll be resolved before item 1, or it's not adjoined to item 1, please?
Just seek clarification from the general manager. I believe it's concurrently.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'll just ask the director, planning environment.
Mr Mayor, councillors, they are two separate matters. The approval would be given to the modification with amended conditions, and staff would take action on the compliance at the same time.
Concurrently.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so we've had it moved by Councillor McNeil and seconded by Councillor Dunn. Does anyone else wish to speak? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Next, Councillor Woodruff. Nine point 1.2, I'll read it out just as the councillor's getting to the chairs. DA 1994-410, modification of Dow Swint inquiry. There is a council recommendation there, the council approves. The section, the S 4.55 1A modification to the development application number 1994-410 for a 1 year extension of time to extractive industry at lot 72 DP 1199 484 511 Dow Swinton Road, Dow Swinton, subject to the amended conditions in Appendix B to the report.
I so move the action.
Moved by councillor Bowditch, second councillor Lecky. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Bowditch? Anyone else commit the motion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.1.3, monthly report to council, planning, environment and regulatory services. The resolution there for council, the information contained in this report be noted. Moved by councillor Lecky. Seconded by councillor Woodruff. Any, just wanting to speak for it, against? Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that motion unanimous and carried. 9.2, community infrastructure. 9.2.1, introduction of food, organics, garden organics, FOGO service. There's council approves the following actions. 1, change over existing garden organics bins for domestic waste properties to a weekly food organics, garden organic service upon the commencement date of the food organics, garden organic service. 2, change over the existing garden organic bins for the waste management properties to a weekly food organics, garden organic service upon the commencement date of the food organics, garden organic service. 3, change over optional green bins for rural domestic waste properties to food organics, garden organic services upon the commencement date of the food organics, garden organic service. 4, select option 1 for the household food organics, garden organics caddy design. 5, plan customer service arrangements for the ongoing supply of caddy liners. 6, seek non-binding expressions of interest for food organics, garden organics material receipt and processing at an appropriately licensed facility from the collection commencement date, including provision for a portion of the compost produced to be made available to council for its use and for the use of Muswellbrook Shire residents. 7, information gained from non-binding expressions of interest, review domestic waste management fee calculations to fund food organic, garden organics collection, transport and processing. And I'm just going to add an amendment there for 8. Council to review and advise of the financial implications of having red bin collected weekly as a report. Does anyone? I'll happily move it, or I'm not in the chair, but second by councillor Woodruff. Sorry. All those in favour? Sorry, did you wish to?
Just trying to think of the process here. I'd like to move a further amendment, an additional amendment.
You put it forward and I'll let you know.
It's just consistent with, sorry, excuse me, just consistent with our discussions in the workshop briefing. Add the words after officer's recommendation, subject to community consultation and a detailed financial report, council approves the following actions. I know this
part, sorry, was that?
Right at the top.
Directly after our officer's recommendation.
Yep.
So basically that was discussed in the workshop. It is, to me, it is my interpretation of the Local Government Act compels us to do that in any case.
Can you just give me that wording again, please?
Yeah, so the first words being subject to community consultation in a detailed financial report. Comma, council approves the following actions.
I'm happy to move that amendment. You happy with that? Councillor Woodruff?
Just a question if I may, so you're saying you don't want to implement it until after those statements are.
Thanks, councillor Woodruff. If it's financially unachievable, it gives us an out. And we can help to consult the community with major change.
If you can make a point, Mr. Gentleman.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Councillor McNeil. In relation to the detailed financial report, completely, of course, that's understandable. We need to do that. But if you don't mind, please, we probably need to come after we receive the non-binding expressions of interest, because without that, we won't have the information.
Wouldn't that facilitate that financial report?
Yes, so we need to do, yes, exactly. So we need to do the non-binding expression of interest, receive that information, then report back to council.
Yeah, how does that motion prevent that happening? Point 6, you're talking about point 6?
Subject to council, so the first point is subject to community consultation of the detailed financial report.
We approve the following
Council
actions.
approves the following actions, which
Right,
is to,
yes, I understand where you're coming from.
So you're happy to,
I guess if you don't mind, please, council, could I please suggest point 9 is that following the non-binding expressions of interest, a detailed financial report is provided to council.
Councillor Woodruff.
Yeah, no, just while we're on that, Mr. Mayor, I want to commend the report. We've been working on this for, I think it's about 5 years now, bringing this on the line for the community and also to save our void and increase awareness in the community. So we look forward to the result of this, and I thank the staff been involved with all the hard work that's gone into this. It's a very good report.
General Manager can go and convey that message, and I know she's gone. Yeah, okay, sorry. Joanne's gone, but thank you. I now commit that motion. All those in favour can raise a hand. All those against? Okay. Noted. That motion is moved and carried. 9.2.2 Wyvong Road rectifications, temporary foreclosure proposal. Recommendation there, the council approves the temporary closure of Wyvong Road East from the Mount Pleasant Mine entrance to Overton Road for a period of approximately 6 weeks to facilitate the proposed roadworks to be undertaken.
Happy to move that.
Happy to move that, right? Councillor Clayton, Councillor Marshall. Sorry, I thought you were leaving. I thought you must have forgotten. You wish to speak to it? Or anyone?
Oh, I'd just like to say that being closer to 6 weeks rather than trying to work when the traffic's going through there, it's much easier way to do it rather than have the traffic lights and everything set up and having to work with traffic going through the place.
Management. I'll commit that motion. Although if anyone wants to speak against it, all those in favour, can you raise a hand? Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.2.3. Concept design for Merton Street, Denman. There's a recommendation there. Guarantee there's going to be a few people in Denman happy about this, and councillors.
Happy to do, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor endorses the concept design attached as one and detailed in the report for the rehabilitation and upgrade of stormwater drainage in Merton Street, Denman. Someone move that motion. Councillor Barry. Councillor Woodruff.
I'll speak to it too again. Congratulations to Kelly and the team. It's very good design.
Mr. Farlow?
Is anyone going to speak against the motion? I declare commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise their hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.2.4, the drought and emergency response management plan. Council recommendation, the council one endorses placing the review of the new drought and emergency response management plan on public exhibition for a period of 28 days. And two, council adopts the review of the drought emergency response management plan at the conclusion of the public exhibition period, subject to receiving no public comment that materially affects the intent or application of the plan. Someone to move that motion. Councillor McNeil, Councillor Drayton. No one to speak to it. Against? No. Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. So that unanimous and carried. 1.3, property in place. I won't be a moment. It's the and 9.3.1, Deanne. It is. The annual food and toy appeal fee waiver. Council recommendation, the council waives the fee for the booking of the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports Centre for the annual food and toy appeal. And two, the estimated costs associated with booking be funded from the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports Centre materials and contracts operating expenses budget 0460.0895.500.
Also second that after Ms. Councillor Lecky.
Councillor Lecky moves. Seconded by Councillor Bowes. Do we have anyone to speak to it? Anyone to speak against? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried.
I don't think she's
No.
no,
No, she's not under the stars.
not on the stars anymore.
9.3.2. Cinema under the stars fee waiver. Council one waives the fee for the booking of the Denver Recreational Area Sports Ground for the Cinema under the Stars event, and two waives the associated section 68 fee.
So moves that.
Councillor Bowditch,
Second.
seconded Councillor Douglas. Anyone to speak to it or against? Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimous and carried. Establishment of the Olympic Park Precinct Development Advisory Committee. Council resolution there, the council approves the establishment of an Olympic Park Precinct Development Advisory Committee as section 355 Committee of Council. Two, the Olympic Park Precinct Development Advisory Committee will comprise the following membership. Two councillors, the General Manager, the Director of Property in Place, authorised representative of Muswellbrook Junior Rugby League, authorised representative of Muswellbrook Senior Rugby League, authorised representative of Muswellbrook Touch Association, authorised representative of Olympic Park Tennis Club, authorised representative of Park Tennis, authorised representative of Muswellbrook Cycle Club, amendment to remove Muswellbrook High School, and authorised representative of Muswellbrook Swimming Club, and also to add two independent members to the committee as an amendment. And at the first meeting of the Olympic Park Precinct Development Advisory Committee, the structure and terms of reference of the committee will be considered and decided upon. Someone happy to move that?
Happy to nominate Councillor Barrett as one, please.
I'm happy to second it and nominate Councillor McNeil.
You nominate yourself, guys. But anyway, that's Councillor Barry, Councillor McNeil. Is there anyone else or? All right. So we have them, those two councillors nominated. So I'll commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. All those against? So that's unanimously carried. Establishment of the Regional Entertainment Centre Development Advisory Committee. Officer's recommendation, council approves the establishment of the Regional Entertainment Centre Advisory Development Committee as a section 355 Committee of Council. The Regional Entertainment Centre Development Advisory Committee will be comprised of the following membership: two councillors, the General Manager, the Director of Property and Place, authorised representative of the Muswellbrook Amateur Theatrical Society, authorised representative of the Upper Hunter Conservatorium of Music, authorised representative of the Muswellbrook and Upper Hunter Esthedford, authorised representative of Muswellbrook High School, with an amendment of 2 independent people as well. At the first meeting of the Regional Entertainment Centre Development Advisory Committee, the structure and terms of reference of the committee will be considered and decided upon. All those in favour of the. Okay, that's fine. Why someone move that way?
Nominate Councillor Dunn.
Nominate Councillor Dunn. We've got a nomination there
Councillor Lecky.
and nominate Councillor Lecky. Does any,
I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted to nominate
It's-
Councillor Scholes,
Councillor Dunn?
and I have asked him.
Yep.
And I have his permission. I can read it out too if you like.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so we have is there anyone else nominating or wishing to? So we have a three-way there. We're going to have to put it to a vote.
Okay.
Why can't it be 3?
Is the committee happy with that or wishing to remain at 2? 3?
Happy to take.
Okay, move that amendment for 3 councillors.
I'll
Someone
second
second that. Councillor Bowditch. Any speak for or against? Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Major project status update. There's a resolution there. The council notes the report. We have someone to move that motion.
I'll move that.
Councillor Bowditch, Councillor Lecky. Any questions or anyone wishing to speak to or against the motion? With the motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Model Code of Conduct and Procedures. Recommendation, council provides notice of the intention to adopt the Model Code of Conduct for local councils in New South Wales and procedures for the administration of the Model Code of Conduct for local councils in New South Wales by placing them on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 28 days. Move the motion. Councillor Barry, second Councillor Woodruff. All those in favour, if you could please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.4.2, I'm just going to move a motion that we defer this item until a further workshop takes place and divert to the November council meeting, and that we workshop this fully. Someone wishes to second that, Councillor Douglas, thank you. All those in favour, please raise a hand. So that unanimous and carried. Item 9.4.3, policy review, the local waters policy. Council, there's a recommendation, council approves the public exhibition of the draft local waters policy in accordance with the requirements of Local Government Act 1993. And 2, delegates adoption of the exhibited policy to the general manager if no submissions objecting or seeking changes to the draft policy are received during the exhibition period. If someone will move that motion. Councillor Barry, Councillor Douglas. Anyone wishing to speak to it or against? Commit the motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. The Christmas closure, 9.4.4, 2022 Christmas closure. There's recommendation. 1, council endorses the closure of the council administration, the depots and water and waste facilities as follows. Friday, the 9th of December 2022, staff end of year function. 12 noon, Friday, the 23rd of December to 7 a.m. Tuesday, the 3rd of January 2023, the Christmas and New Year period. And 2, notes that the local government unions have requested a following date for their combined picnic day and endorses the closure of council administration, depots and water and waste facilities as follows for Tuesday, the 1st of November 2022. Councillor Lecky, Councillor Drayton. No one wishing to speak to or against? I commit the motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous. Carried. The Christmas Spectacular. 2022. Council supports the Christmas Spectacular for 2022 as a sponsor with a contribution of $6,000 allocated from the Sundries donation budget. And do we have someone to move that? Councillor Dunn, Councillor McNeil. All those in favour, if you could just raise a hand. So that's unanimously carried. I'll just ask staff if they can look into a way that we could possibly do it in conjunction with community service in the future, where contracts with radio station elementary.
Yep, service.
9.4.6, 2023 half-day public holiday. There's a recommendation that council makes an application to the Minister for Public Service and Employee Relations for the declaration of a half-day public holiday for the Muswellbrook Cup Day from noon on Friday, the 31st of March, 2023.
Move the action.
Councillor Drayton. Moved, seconded. Councillor McNeil. Do we have anyone wishing to speak to the motion? Anyone wishing to speak against? Commit the motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. All those against? Yeah, thank you, Councillor. Move to declare that motion carried and moved. 9.4.7, establishment of a grants review committee. Okay. Council establishes a grants review committee to comprise the following membership: 3 councillors. 2, the grants review committee shall meet at such times and places as it may determine to be necessary. And 3, the grants review committee may invite such persons to participate in its considerations that will enable the committee to effectively and efficiently perform its functions. I'm going to nominate myself for that one.
Nominate Dan Douglas.
Councillor Dunn.
Councillor Dunn, Councillor Douglas. Any other nominations? There's 3 nominations there.
One more.
Commit that.
Councillor
There's
Garrett.
already-
3 already.
Councillor Brown,
Reynolds.
Councillor Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.4.8, annual report on code of conduct complaint statistics, 1st of October 2021 to 30th of September 2022. Resolution that council notes the report authorises the acting general manager to submit the report to the Office of Local Government prior to the 31st of December 2022 due date.
Move that way.
Councillor Woodruff.
Yeah, second.
Sorry, Councillor Drayton, yeah. Okay, yeah. With that motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9 councillors and designated persons disclosures of interest. Council notes the information contained in this report. So to move that motion, Councillor McNeil. Second, Councillor Marshall. All those in favour, if you could please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.4.10, authorisation under section 226 of the Local Government Act. Council notes the information provided in the report. Councillor Woodruff, seconded. Councillor Barry. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Reports on investments held at 30th of September 2022. Council notes the council's investments as at 30th of September 2022. Do you have any discussion or any questions? No. Someone to move the motion, Councillor Douglas, seconded by Councillor Mahajan. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.4.12, monthly financial reports as of September 2022. Council notes the financial reports for the month ending 30th September 2022. Someone to move that way. Councillor Mahajan, seconded by Councillor Lecky. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Unanimously carried. 9.4.13, reports on council grant funding and community engagement. Council resolution, the council notes the information contained in the report approves recommended community grants round 2022 totaling $5,293 to be funded from the sundry donations and community calls allocation. Donation. Councillor Lecky. Councillor Dunn. All those in favour, or if there's any questions, yep, raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Community and economy, 9.5.1. Community services, the information contained in this report be noted. Councillor move that way. Councillor Woodruff. Seconded by Councillor Dunn. All those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimous and carried. Item number 10, 10.1, state significant development committee meetings, 9 and 9 to the 9th, 2022, and the 10th to the 10th, 2022. The minutes from the following state significant development committee be noted, being those two that I just mentioned. Councillor Lecky and Councillor Marshall. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That unanimous and carried. 10.2, local traffic committee, 9 to the 8th, 2022. Minutes for the 9th of August 2022 meeting of the local traffic committee be noted. Councillor Marshall, seconded by Councillor Bowditch. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that motion moved and carried. There's nil notices of motion. 12, councillor reports. I'll go first because we will do one. Councillor Barry and I have just returned from the local government New South Wales conference held over the past 3 days. We will provide, it's only been, we returned today, so we'll provide a report at the next meeting. As Councillor Barry will probably state, we learned a lot and very beneficial, and we encourage that next time we book in early and get 3 councillors potentially to go along with the general manager. So, did you wish to add anything, Councillor Barry?
No, not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Still digesting
Yes.
the last couple of days.
Any other councillor reports?
Nice Louisville and movies were fantastic out at Denman, and then again on Sunday in Muswellbrook.
Yes, well understaffed with regards to that on behalf of all councillors. It was well managed, well received, and looking forward to the 10th year anniversary next year. Any other councillor reports? Any Neil and Brittany questions? Any questions for the next meeting? Item 14, Councillor Woodruff.
Yes, through you to the General Manager. The stats of that pavement failure under the railway bridge at, from Mount Arthur. I think that's been patched about 4 or 5 times and it's in a terrible state again. Are we now responsible for the maintenance on that road, or is it still lay with Mount Arthur?
Yes, most definitely.
Thanks very much, Councillor Woodruff. My understanding is it's still with Mount Arthur, but I'll check up on that and provide a response to councillors, if that's right, please.
Supplementary, if I may, it appears that there's groundwater coming from the abutment on the railhead, and every time that's either patched, the next day it just deteriorates. So we've definitely got a problem with egress of water coming up through the ground there somewhere, because it's no sooner patched and within 24, 48 hours it's back to the same condition. I'll suggest if it's still with Mount Arthur that they investigate it. And the last couple of times it's just been a 50 mil scrape off. They put down an unacceptable tar seal over it, and then it just deteriorates straight away again. Yesterday morning I had to pull over there and help a lady there. The wheel that looked like it came out of the 610-year-old, to hit it that hard that it actually destroyed the wheel on a car. So I know they've had a couple of light goes at it, but it really is dangerous. And being under the actual railway bridge, you don't see it in the shade. So I suppose I'm just asking if we can show some due diligence and find out very soon how we can repair that, please.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Thanks, Councillor Woodruff. Yes, we'll make that a high priority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the next meeting?
Yeah, through you, Mr Mayor. First one is, I'm just wondering if we can have an answer by the next meeting, how the bollards situation at the skate park are going. We had a meeting some meetings ago about the bollards, and there's been no action since. So if we can, I've had that brought to our attention, if we can have that brought up next meeting.
Yes, yes, I'll let you in. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Councillor Bowditch. Yes, the materials have been ordered. We've had a few problems with supply, but we'll provide a report at the next meeting. Thanks.
And so went to the second question I had. I did mention in the debrief that I would bring it up. Adding on to the comments of Councillor Woodruff, is there, from our road maintenance crew, is there a study we can have a look at? As I mentioned earlier, 60% of our problems with our roads is water laying on top of the asphalt and seeping through the membrane and getting into our subgrade. Is there a study we can bring back to the next meeting, the benefits of having clean roadside edges with gravel right to our asphalt, so as water coming off the road will actually get into our drains and gutters and run away, to against having slashed edges where the water is coming to the grass, mixing with the slashed mulch that's already mixed with it, making it a barrier, holding the water longer onto our asphalt, which as we're driving through and rolling, it's possibly breaking up and deteriorating our roads at a quicker expense with this wet weather. So is there something we can look at that and bring something back?
I'd say, without talking to the general manager, with the road conditions at the moment and the drastic amount of pressure on the road staff, we have to find a budget to get that report done, to get it done by the next meeting. Potentially might be a bit longer if, given the current state, but that's fine.
No, that's, we just need to look, everyone's using the asphalt, it's wet, it's raining, it's a wet period, but we've got a lot of roads failing, and most of our roads failing are where water is unable to get off the sides of the roads through different ways and means and everything else, but in different areas where there's been roadworks, there's been areas where the roadsides are clear, we're not getting failures in the road because the water is actually getting into the drains and getting away and not coming up. So as we know, when you drive over a road, as I said earlier, each traffic movement that goes over the road is acting like a sponge, sucking that water to the surface. So.
I'll get the last two.
Yes, sir.
Just may not be knowing the way things are going at the moment with the pressure on our teams and things.
I sort of suggest, not to cancel, but just bring forward the budget that we have for Burgess. I think that explains it. I mean, we have a regular maintenance of Burgess where the grass gets cut off, but it's X amount of money. It doesn't cover every kilometre of rural road that we've got in the Shire. So perhaps the other way would be to present the budget for Burgess and then the council could make a decision to increase that, and therefore the road can be maintained. But I really, all due respect, I don't see how we can fix it until you know that, because we have a routine maintenance that we've had for, I don't know, 25 years now. The only way to increase reconstruction of Burgess is increase funding. So maybe we could have a look at the budget first and then work from there rather than a report.
You happy with that, Councillor?
Yep, I think it's fine.
Thank you. We'll get that to the.
So I'm happy to work with the council staff. It's just the ways we need to look at it.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Councillor Bowditch. So with new capital projects, we do, I think our construction of shoulders are still shoulders and it's much improved. And the Councillor Bowditch's point, I think the legacy issues and understand the budget and the constraints, I think it's a very good idea as well.
Any further questions for the next meeting? Councillor
Yeah.
Mahajan.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, can we get more information regarding the future fund asset, the revenue, each asset, what the revenue they have and what the expense we pay each asset and which asset is not good for the, like for keep in the future fund.
Yeah. We can bring that to the future, next future fund.
In the council, the next meeting or whatever.
Yes, thanks, Councillor Mahajan. In relation to that work's being done now. It's being done in parallel with the financial reports. So all that information will come back to council firstly through the Finance Advisory Committee, then the council. We're hoping to do that early in November.
Including the valuations as well.
And valuations, yes, exactly.
Further questions? Those.
Yeah, just one, Mr. Mayor, through you to the General Manager. General Manager, I sent an email here some time ago about the possibility of council putting a submission to Transport New South Wales to look at the road surface particularly between here and Liddell, and particularly around the Mitchell Line Road, where the potholes seem to be of the nature that Councillor Woodruff described with the incident with the lady. I just wondering if there's any feedback from them.
Yeah, I can where it is. I don't know.
Thanks, Councillor. We regularly engage with Transport New South Wales, both on discrete issues like that, which we have, but also through quarterly meetings. So we'll continue to take that on, but they acknowledge the problem. They acknowledge the problem, but they're saying that they've got a large scale of problems and they're dealing with all of them. So we will continue.
And we did speak to Transport New South Wales, who are coming up here either next week or the week after. So for a meeting, after speaking with them today, I can guarantee you they'll get a good idea of what it's like when they come up here. So, yeah, we'll get some answers. And any further questions? No. All right. You've got a motion to go into closed council.
Information to go to closed council.
Councillor Marshall,
I'll second that.
seconded by Councillor Douglas. All those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimously carried. Members of the public, we're going back after the closed council session.